Welcome back. All right, so I wanted to do a redraft, and I wanted to make it one that might be a little bit spicy, a little bit interesting. So I'm going with the 1991 draft. Now, the 1991 draft is the one with Lindros in it. So odds are I'm going to do the 1990 draft at some point too, because that one had Yager in it going fifth. I don't think he goes fifth in the redraft. But I wanted to look at this one. I think this is the oldest one I've done. I don't think I did 1979. I'm thinking back and I'm thinking, did I do 1979? I may have. So, that being said, these are the picks as they happened. I'm going to spoil this right away. The Canucks do not take Alex Stoyanov at number 7. So, at number 1, you have the Quebec Nordics. Now, Eric Lindros said, don't draft me. I'm not going. Nordiques said, all right, cool, we got it. With the number 1 pick, we're taking Eric Lindros. Damn it. All right. Give him the jersey, see if he'll put it on. No, he didn't put it on. So the whole Lindros saga starts there. Do I draft him number 1? No. At number 1, I draft Peter Forsberg. Forsberg goes first overall. Now Forsberg, of course, had foot problems and various injuries, but still, over the length of his career, I don't see how Forsberg doesn't go number 1. Number 2, is that where Lindros goes? No. Number 2, moving up from number 3. It's Shane Wright all over again, isn't it? Shane Wright all over again. The San Jose Sharks run, they don't walk to take Scott Niedermayer, so Pat Falloon does not go number 2 either. Then we're down to number 3. Is that where Lindros goes? Does he go to the New Jersey Devils? Isn't that interesting? And if I look over this list, yeah, I feel pretty comfortable with Lindros going at 3. So originally taken at number 1, Eric Lindros goes at 3 in the redraft. Goes to the New Jersey Devils instead of Scott Niedermayer. Now, there may be some Devils fans who in the comments are going to leave nasty comments. But remember, I made this video a while ago because it's posting to the channel while I'm on vacation. So I may not see all the nasty comments. Lindros with the Devils. And number 3, it's not my fault San Jose takes Niedermayer at number 2. So, but imagine if San Jose had taken Niedermayer instead of Falloon. Just imagine how things could have been different. All right, at number 4. This is where things start to get tough right away because there's a lot of really good careers here. And it's a matter of trying to figure out who would go at 4? The New York Islanders. I'm going to say Naslund goes at 4. Naslin's peak was really high. Naslin's peak ends up being really high. He had 3 or 4 really good years there. And it was a slow climb to get there. But I still think over the length of his career, I think Naslund goes at number 4. Now at 5, Winnipeg Jets. This is original Jets, not the current Jets, of course. I'm just using the same logo because it doesn't really matter. Although I did bring out Hartford Whalers and Minnesota North Stars because, hey, right? So at number 5, this one's not easy either, but I think it kind of has to be Alexi Kovalev, doesn't it? Kovalev was honestly an excellent point per game player in his prime. He was a really good offensive player. I don't remember him being bad defensively either. I don't remember a lot of complaints about him on the defensive side of it, but obviously offense was his primary game, and yeah. So Kovalev ends up going at 5. At 6, we're really getting into it here, aren't we? At 6, I'm going to Philadelphia. Take Ziggy Palffy. Ziggy Palffy going to Philadelphia. He was originally drafted at 26 by the New York Islanders. So we can go ahead and cross him off. Which brings us up to the Vancouver Canucks. Now, who do the Vancouver Canucks go up there and say, all right, we're going to draft this guy, not Alex Stoyanov, who they would use later to pick up Marcus Naslund. I guess the Penguins just looked at that and said, hey, we're trading up in the 91 draft. I like this idea. Also, they'd given up on Naslund at that point. So for Vancouver, drafting 7th, You know, one of my favorite players is right there, and I would love to draft him, but I can't. So I'm going to go with, to Vancouver, Brian Rolston. Brian Rolston, it's much the same thing, just very good goal scorer, good career, solid player, played a long time. So yeah, I'd go with Rolston. And again, this is not an easy one to pick through. Some of these guys, like you could argue, I think you could argue Rolston ahead of Palffy. I think you could argue Kovalev ahead of Naslund. And if you want to make those arguments, you can go ahead. Because again, these are fun to do. I enjoy doing this, and I don't pour over this. I don't pre-plan this out. That's why I have the book. I write the names down and then I cross them off. Next up, for Minnesota, Ray Whitney. Ray Whitney played a very long time in the National Hockey League. Of course, he was drafted 23rd overall by the San Jose Sharks. I really liked Whitney's career. This, of course, means that Falloon doesn't go to the same team, or does he? Would Minnesota get him in the second round in the way I'm doing the redraft? I do have Falloon's name on the paper. I don't know whether or not I'm going to take him in the first round, though. So Ray Whitney there. And again, played forever. I think he would have been fun to watch in Minnesota playing for the North Stars. Next up, going to Hartford. He would actually play for Hartford, too. Say what you want to about Michael Nylander, but without him, you don't get William Nylander. So, Michael Nylander, I'm going to Hartford. Again, he would play for the Hartford Whalers at a stage during his career. Or play for the Hartford Whalers at a stage. It wasn't one player. Team's just one player, seriously. He's really good. So, yeah, Michael Nylander to the Whalers. The number 9 slot, I do believe, on this draft. I knew there was a word in there I was missing. But yeah, 22 players in this first round of this draft, so this shouldn't be as long as my other draft videos. Which leaves us with Detroit next up. So if Nylander goes there to Detroit, I can't overlook him. I can't do it. In his career, Sanders Ozolinsh, were there defensive errors here and there? Yes. But offensively, he was fantastic. In his prime, he was fantastic. So Ozolinsh going to Detroit is an interesting one. Of course, Martin Lapointe was taken by Detroit originally at 10th. Ozolinsh was drafted 30th that year. So I have Ozolinsh going to Detroit. Next up. Yeah, he has to go. Yeah. This is a tough one. New Jersey. Now, New Jersey just drafted Marty Brodeur, so you can't have them draft another goaltender, right? Sure you can. Chris Osgood. Chris Osgood, 54th draft pick for the Detroit Red Wings that year. I have him going 11th to the New Jersey Devils. I have them taking Lindros and Osgood in the first round. That's not bad for the New Jersey Devils. Not too shabby. Initially, they came out of this draft with Rolston and Niedermeyer. You guys can be mad at me. New Jersey Devils fans can be mad at me. I may have just destroyed their 1995 Stanley Cup, the 2000 and 2003 Stanley Cups, or I've given them Osgood and Brodeur as a goaltending tandem, which is pretty good. Osgood is underrated. I really think that the narrative that, well, any goaltender could have won with Detroit, I think takes away from what Osgood did. I think Osgood was very good for the Detroit Red Wings during their Stanley Cup runs with him in net. All right, next on the board for the Oilers, I'll have moving up from the 18th spot in the draft, which means now I'm making myself angry. Because the idea of Little Cam never becoming Little Cam makes you a little bit angry. Glenn Murray, drafted by the Boston Bruins initially at 18th. In this one, he goes at 12th to the Oilers. Glenn Murray, excellent goal scorer. I did get a custom jersey done with his name on the back because I really like Glenn Murray's entire run with the Boston Bruins. And in fact, I think he had 2 runs with the Boston Bruins too. So yeah, Glenn Murray goes to the Oilers, which leaves me just feeling, but Rolston goes to the Canucks. So those are 2 future Bruins that I've just sent off to Canada. Next on the board. It is getting difficult because now we're into players that are similar. I'm going to have going to Buffalo. Another future Bruin, Joseph Stumple. He was originally drafted 40th overall in that draft. Have him going out of Buffalo at 13th. And Stumple played a long time in the National Hockey League, could put up points. And yeah, that's really all there is with his career, right? There really isn't a whole lot else to add. Played a long time, put up points, reliable player. I don't think I've done a career video on him, but should I? Probably. That's probably true. Yeah, we'll see. Next on the board, I'm tempted to use him because he was excellent at face-offs. But I don't know if I want him to go ahead of that defenseman right there. You know what? What the heck? To the Washington Capitals. Face-off specialist, who also had some seasons where he put the puck in the net, Yannick Perreault. Yannick Perreault was useful during his entire career. And yeah, so I have him going at 14th to the Washington Capitals. And yeah, I'm going to put Yannick Perreault there. And then at 15th going to the New York Rangers. So moving up from 81st in the draft to 15th is Alexi Kovalev. Now, for Ranger fans, what I just did, totally by accident, is I removed Alexi Kovalev to the Jets, but I gave you Alexi Kovalev. They're both named Alexi. One's a defenseman, the other's a forward. Outside of that, nobody will notice the difference. So Alexi Kovalev goes there. People will notice the difference. And then next on the board, we start getting into Martins. So Martin Lapointe, took him a while before the offense really got to where the Detroit Red Wings wanted it. And then he signed an expensive contract with the Bruins and didn't live up to it. But Lapointe played well enough in his prime that I have Pittsburgh taking him here. So we'll do that with Lapointe. Next on the board for Montreal. This guy played with Montreal too. Eventually. Martin Rucinski, who was originally taken 20th overall. I have Montreal taking him at 17th. So, yeah, I'll have Rucinski go there. And again, at this point, you can make arguments, I would say, for Rucinski as high as Perreault, maybe Stumple. This is just my own personal opinion on this. Next spot to Boston. He would end up playing in Boston, too. Mike Knuble. Good, solid, bottom six guy. Played a long time in the NHL. You always got a hardworking... every shift that he had out there was hardworking, so I'll have him go there. Number 4 pick in this draft drops down to Calgary. Scott Lachance. I actually liked Scott Lachance. I thought that around the end of his career, I thought he was getting a lot more criticism than he should have. He's kind of remembered as a bust by some, but I like Lachance, so I'm going to put him there. To the Oilers, moving up from 58th in the original draft. And going to the Oilers, Steve Konowalchuk. So the Oilers come out of this draft with Glenn Murray and Steve Konowalchuk. That's a good haul. That's not bad. The 1991 draft, pretty good for the Oilers, who originally drafted... I know Rucinski was drafted. I'm trying to remember at 12 who they took. It's nobody on my paper. So that says enough right there. So Murray and Konowalchuk would have been a step up from what they drafted originally in 1991. Next on the board, I only have one extra name too. Next on the board, I'm going to go with, and this is a Washington pick as well, forward Dean McCammon. Dean McCammon, good career, solid player, played a long time. Yeah, I'll throw him at 21st. And then at 22nd, length of career, Pat Falloon drops to the second round. He would have been the first one off the board in the second round if I was doing a second round redraft. And so he would have ended up in San Jose anyway. San Jose had the first pick in the next round, I do believe. So I'm going to have defenseman Sean O'Donnell taken by the Chicago Blackhawks. So Sean O'Donnell played a very long time in the National Hockey League. Bounced around a bit at certain points too, but again, it's about that honest hard work. You get that with O'Donnell. And so, yeah, there you go. Your redraft of the 1991 draft, which has its drama right here. Imagine if the Nordiques went up and said, with the number 1 pick, we take Peter Forsberg. There would have been a lot of, they take who? instead of Lindros? That's insane. That's ridiculous. And then San Jose goes up. People are like, man, they're going to love Lindros there. We take Scott Niedermayer. What are they do? How can Lindros drop to third? And again, it is Forsberg, I think, was dominant at a level that Lindros could have been, but Lindros was besieged by injuries. And which, of course, so was Forsberg. Forsberg, you also have your championships, and Niedermayer was just a workhorse, won everywhere he went. And really, in all honesty, I never heard any complaints about Niedermayer during his whole career, which is remarkable because for defensemen, you're going to hear complaints either from other fan bases saying, oh, he's a dirty player, or I don't like how he plays, or fans of teams he plays for saying, well, yeah, Niedermayer's good, but, and then complaints about something in his game. Never heard that with Niedermayer. So there you go, a redraft of the 1991 draft. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, as always. And again, once you get into the second column, for me, it really comes down to, I'll take this guy here. Right, so let me know your thoughts. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.